welcome, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is doing okay. Back with another stream. This time we are going to be talking to the members. So yeah, let me go ahead and quickly drop the stream yard link to the members. There we go. Cool. Yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Omonia game yesterday, a really big game, big win for us. Came out from a 1-0 at halftime, came out to win the game, and now we're here. Now we're here and we're live. Big up OT, big up Ronald, big up Austin, big up Gooks as well. Everyone joining in. Feel free if you are a member. I have dropped the link in the members only chat to join in, and I will bring you onto the stream and we can have a chat. But yeah, first thing first, what I want to say is I am slightly concerned about the Everton game. Very slightly concerned. I feel like we need to make Ten Hag needs to make some decisions about how he's going to go about this game. The match preview is going to be tomorrow. I'm going to do the match preview fully tomorrow. But in general, I wanted to have a conversation with a couple of the fans to come in and join the stream and talk to me. One of my concerns, and I'll start off before people do join and decide to join, but one of my definite concerns is how we are going to deal with Everton's midfield. It's a huge concern of mine. I'm not saying Lampard is one of the best managers in the league or etc., but what I am saying is it's gonna be a tough game and we're gonna need a lot of legs, a whole lot of legs. If you ask me, I would play a Casemiro, a Fred, and an Ericsson in that game. I wouldn't want to go and risk playing Bruno and Ericsson again in the same game. Is that me saying Ten Hag needs to take some risks? Yes, I am saying he needs to take some risks in this game, particularly in this game, because there's no other way for me to go about and give Bruno some rest. He's been playing every single game that you can possibly think, so he does need some rest. Same with Ericsson. I need the 3 points. We need the 3 points. We've got huge games coming. We've got Everton, Omonia, Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea. I don't know how many points we're going to be getting, but it is what it is, right? We'll just have to see as the game goes. Yesterday's game and the City game showed me one thing. Playing a high line can cause us quite a lot of problem. And I mean some serious problem. Because if you look at how Omonia scored the 2 goals, they had 3 chances in the whole game, and they ended up putting that in the back of the net. Whether you want to blame David De Gea, whether you want to blame Sancho, whether you want to blame Malacia, the fact is we are open. We are open when we press in higher up. And it's a huge amount of concern for me. We need to figure out a way to play this highline game without having being so open. How do we do that? Lindelof and Martinez, the partnership didn't really look all that good, if you ask me. It didn't. It looked half okay at times. Lindelof went off and did his own thing. At times, Malacia got caught. Sancho got caught lacking. Anthony sometimes didn't do all of that defensive work that he needed to do. And against a solid team like Everton or even a mid-table team, we can they can beat us in essence. That's what I'm trying to say. If we're trying to play that highline stuff with Everton and we get caught with a 1-0, they can go and beat us because all they'll do is try and keep the points, try and lock up the shop. So we're going to be in deep trouble. I want to pose a question whilst we're here, even though this is not the preview stream. If you are watching, I want to understand how confident are people feeling going forward into this game? Are you feeling like we can get a win? Do you have a prediction? If you do, leave a comment down below. I'm going to get a poll up quickly just to make sure, just to see what everybody thinks. Bear with me. Let me get that up. Let me get that poll up. Boom. Oh, there we go. Get the poll up. How do I get the? Why is it not working? Hold on. Let me try and get a poll up to see what people are thinking. Bear with me. There we go. Cool. Prediction. There we go. W, Everton, W. Or is it going to be a draw? Yeah. So go ahead and drop your predictions in there. I want to know what you guys are predicting. Would you take a draw in this particular game? Big up Austin. He says, I'm really excited for the midfield battle. Who do you want to see in that midfield? Who are you excited to see in that midfield? Big up Tezos as well, joining the stream. My plans for Jan is Tom Heaton and Phil Jones out and Hackpo in. A lot of Hackpo fans right now. I'm seeing everywhere. Hackpo, Hackpo, Hackpo. A lot of Hackpo fans. 60-40. So you're not fully convinced that we might win this game, or 60% that we win. Abdullah says we need Martial to play. That is an understatement. We definitely do need Martial to play. Ten Hag has quite a few headaches to unravel in this coming few games. One of them being is how many times can he play Dallo and Malacia? I feel like, if you ask me, Malacia is tired. I really do. His body has taken quite a bit of minutes, quite a few bit of minutes. He's gonna be tired. He's gonna be wanting a bit of rest, and it's time that Ten Hag goes and puts Luke Shaw in, because whether I like Luke Shaw or not, he's an option there for us to use, and we've got to use him. There's nothing else we can do. Unfortunate for Bissaka, he's not available at the moment, but nonetheless, it's time to use Luke Shaw. If he's available, you use him and give Malacia a rest. Looking at how Everton's forwards, Moape, Iwobi in the midfield, Onana, all these guys, huge amount of legs, man. These guys will run for days and days. I need a Luke Shaw in there to be able to make them go a bit back with his overlap. We might, invite pressure and have Malacia do the defensive work, and cool, I get that bit. But having Luke Shaw give that aspect of an overlap and attack to help Rashford can also give us an edge. And you all know I definitely do not want Luke Shaw in Manchester United, but it is something that I have to go with simply based off Malacia's tired. I'm sure Dallo is too. I would not be surprised. Someone said he's injured. Who injured? Who's injured? What's going on with Donny? Donny's injured. Sorry, yeah, that's what you mean. I feel so sorry for Ronaldo. He cannot suit in EPL. I respect him, but 38 already. He's 37, going into 38. But I get it. I totally get the concern on Ronaldo. And you know what? I am concerned myself, if you ask me. I'm very concerned. Ronaldo was supposed to be, in essence, our problem solver, because when Martial and Rashford are doing their thing, if certain things aren't working, that's when Ronaldo is supposed to come in. That is exactly when Ronaldo is supposed to come and say, you know what? Here you go. Here's the solution. I can get you a goal on the 80th minute or XYZ. But right now, that's not working. The guy can't give anything at all. And it's concerning for me, if you ask me. It's a huge amount of concern for Ten Hag, because the reason why he kept him is so he can get some of these answers out of him. And it's not happening. It isn't. And I'm not happy, in all honesty. I'm really not happy. I wanted to see Ronaldo get some goals in this Europa game. I wanted to see him score a couple of proper goals against Sheriff. He got his penalty, sure. But I wanted to see some edge from Ronaldo in these games for us to be assured that if anything was to be questioned with Rashford and Martial, Ronaldo's there. But that's not the case. That is not the case. So I am a bit concerned. I don't know what's gonna happen. Does Ten Hag go and sell him in January? It's gonna be a concern for me. It's gonna be a concern for me. Who do we go and replace in January as well? It's a concern. Um, let's read the chat from Austin says, I hope he brings Iqbal or someone young for Sancho. Um, I don't see him doing that, in all honesty. I don't. In Everton game as well was a big ask. You want Sancho to be dropped. Let's come on to the Sancho talk then. So here's my thing with Jadon Sancho, right? And big up everyone who's been listening to me on my Twitter spaces and etc. as well. Um, I believe it is time for Jadon Sancho to be dropped in terms of from the starting 11. I believe it is time for him to go ahead and hold some time in bench and reassess his game with the manager. I think it's time for him to understand what the manager exactly wants from him. It is time for him to understand what exactly he can give to the manager as well. Jadon Sancho has had a decent start to the season. He's got his goal numbers, but it doesn't mean he's been having or performing to the level that we expect him to. There is always going to be niggling excuses that we will find. Injury being one of them. Sorry, not injury. I forgive me. Age being one of them. Him starting his season slow being one of them. His assistant player missing Martial can be one of them. But the fact is, what threat does Jadon Sancho pose to defenders at the moment? Not much. Let's be real. What threat can Jadon Sancho pose in certain games where you have, Everton fullbacks pressing all the time? Can Jadon Sancho solve a problem for you? These are the type of questions I'm asking. And you got to think it deep. Can Jadon Sancho solve a problem when you have one? I don't think so. I really, really do not think so. At the moment, I think it would make sense to go ahead and maybe give Garnacho some minutes. Rashford is there, of course, but there is one game every 3 or 4 days. So I would expect Ten Hag to maybe use Elanga, maybe use Garnacho. There are players there that could be used. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind to see Sancho in bench at the moment. So that's my thing on Sancho. He's not solving any problems for me. He's creating problems sometimes. Clearly, yesterday he created a problem. And the fact is, he's of a real high class player, a real high caliber player who's on a lot of money as well, a lot of money. And there's a level of level of performance that we expect from him, and he's not giving it. So yeah, it's just what it is. Let's go to some of the comments. Ganso says, I'm actually not as concerned. I don't think our front line is a problem. We have the depth up front. I'm worried about centre back, centre mid, and right back. I hear you. I'm very much worried about the centre back and the right back position and the left back position because these guys have played for quite a quite a few games. Like these guys have played every single game. Martinez, Malacia, Dallo, every single game. So yeah, they're gonna need to be given some rest in essence. Um, keeping the same energy everyone has towards Rashford. Um, give Garnacho playtime. Let's see what else is there. Liam says, "Hey, fast, big up Liam." Sancho flopped. We got to admit, has he fully flopped in Manchester United? I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say he's flopped just yet. I think he's not performing, and that is a fair comment to have. He's not performing to the level we want him to, but yeah, he's not been setting the world on fire as well. Big up Red Baron in the chat as well. says Man United will win for sure. Let me go ahead and quickly drop the StreamYard link in the chat as well. So if anybody else wants to join, because nobody joined so far, um, all the members might be busy. But yeah, if you want to join the stream, click the link in the chat and you can join the stream and have your say. So let's see. Red Baron says, an Arsenal fan asked me who I support yesterday. He just laughed at me when I said I support United, said he was still irritated by the loss. Yeah, Arsenal fans hold that L. They've got a huge game coming up against Liverpool. If you ask me, I don't want anybody to win. I would prefer Arsenal and a Liverpool draw. That would be the perfect result for Manchester United. Do I want Arsenal to be slowed down? 100%. They are, adamant that they are constantly winning game after game, and they're causing me headaches that I don't need. Arsenal fans are causing me headaches that I don't need. And I want to keep the point gap between Arsenal and us just being that, not too high. I'm not saying we're in the title contention or anything as such or whatever, but what I am saying, I don't want Arsenal just going away, just running away with it. I can't stand it. So yeah, that's my thing with Arsenal. I hope Liverpool and Arsenal draw. That'll be the perfect result. Ganso says, Sancho is too early to call a flop. We're in the beginning of a rebuild, increasing our intensity and learning patterns. He just needs to hold bench and bring him back. Yeah, I think soon as Sancho holds a bit of bench time, reassesses his game, understands with the manager what the manager wants from him, maybe reevaluate his game a little bit, tweak his game a little bit, maybe get a bit more fitter, and then he can come back and do well. That's a fair assessment. And people need to accept fair assessment when a player is not doing well. I myself have been extremely critical about Martial, but then you see me holding Martial profile pictures. So yeah, it is what it is. Um, Seiko says, Faz, I think Sancho is more of a system-based player, not a counter-attacking player. So far, Man United are playing counter-attack. Do you think we are currently a better team than Spurs? Spurs are losing points both in Premier League and Champions League. I'll come to the Seiko's question first, by the way. Before I make give you my answer, memberships are now open. You can become a member down below using where the super chat section is. So whenever you click to donate a super chat, you can go ahead and now become a member. There's two different levels depending on the level that you want to show support to the channel. Big up to all the members that have joined so far. I appreciate you. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and support the channel, you can do so using the link in the bio or the super chat section. Ganso, welcome to the stream. I'll bring you in a second. I'll just answer the two questions asked to me. Faz, I think Sancho is more of a system-based player, not a counter-attacking player. So far, United are playing counter-attack. What I'll say is, you do see at times United are playing counter-attack in football, but nonetheless, we are moving the ball a lot more than we did in previous years. And whether you want to say a system player or not, sure, I can appreciate that, but there is a there is a level of adaptation that he needs in Manchester United. He needs to show that he can adapt. Man United, in essence, aren't going to go and play Sancho football to accommodate Sancho. Sancho needs to adapt, and this is the exact reason why I'm saying let him hold the bench a little bit, let him understand and reassess his game, come back with a bit more energy, come back with a bit more flair in his game, a bit more confidence, and then slowly integrate him back. There are saying things people say that Sancho starts his season later. He takes a bit of time to warm up, which okay, I get it as well. Fair enough. Maybe by November, December, he can warm up a bit more, but still, it needs time is ticking, and we need the points. We need these players firing. So yeah, that's my thing. And Flame says, um, do you rate Spurs are losing? Yeah, do you currently think Spurs? What is it? Spurs are losing points both in Champions League and Premier League. Do you think we are currently a better team than Spurs? Uh, yeah. I definitely think we are better than Spurs, 100%. I don't rate Harry No Sugar Kane. Heung-min Son is an upper echelon player. Kulusevski is a great player. but I don't rate Spurs. I just don't. Big up the super chat from Red Baron. Thank you very much for the super chat as well. Says, I don't understand where Arsenal fans get so much guile and confidence. They have to be the most deluded fans, especially after all these years. And Red Baron, I totally agree with you. I do. But the fact is, they're winning every single fucking game. And it's weird. It is beyond weird how Arsenal are doing what they're doing. Absolutely weird. If anybody does that, I'd expect them to go ahead and win the league. I would. They're winning everything. They're winning. They won the Europa League game with their B team as in essence. They're just doing everything that they can. Um, yeah. So that's it. Welcome, Ganso. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Talk to me. What have you heard so far? Anything you want to mention? Anything you want to bring up?
On the Sancho thing, a lot of people I think are making it into a bigger thing than it is. And I think you're exactly right. Put him on the bench. He needs to just, I guess, find that extra like hunger and desire and shit. Put him on bench and like maybe next week versus Ammonia or something like that, or again like a week or two in a Europa League game. Bring him back in, and then we'll see how he's doing from there. I don't think it's that big of a problem.
What about thinking going towards the Everton game? Are you nervous? Are you wondering how we're gonna go ahead and beat them? Do you think it's gonna be a draw? Talk to me a bit about that. And obviously, City lost. Omonia kind of yeah, they did give us a 1-2, but we gave them a 1-2-3. If that I'm using boxing terms. What are your thoughts now? Where's your headspace at in terms of the squad right now?
I'm not totally confident, if I'm being totally honest,
Yeah,
because
sure.
I don't know, man. Just that City game, awful. We already know this, but that game against Ammonia as well, like just we don't seem to be running as hard as we used to. Even like the 4 game win streak we had or whatever. Like we we seem kind of lethargic to me, and also I'm pretty sure we're playing away, which will be a problem. But I think overall the main thing that worries me is Ericsson is definitely being overplayed, and we don't have anyone else who can play that position. And I'm worried about Lindelof because like we miss Varane heavily, so I'm not very confident. I want to say we'll win, but I think it's going to be a draw. If I'm being honest.
Are you gonna be happy with the draw if we get a draw?
Well, I want to win every game, but I don't know, man. I think if we no, I want to win. I want to win. I want to win. I want to win. I think we
are
can
we
beat
are
them.
we are we being a bit too what's the best way to put it? Are we disrespecting Everton because 72% of the people have said Man United will win against Everton. Nobody, not one person has voted to say that we will draw.
I think I got I if I'm being again totally honest, I don't watch Everton. I'm kind of a big club merchant, so I watch mainly the big games. But I don't know. They're not doing too bad. Where are they in the league? 11th. They have 10 points. So I don't know. I haven't really been watching them like that, but it seems like they're doing all right compared to last year when they were shit. But even last year, didn't we lose? Yeah, we lost 1-0 away to them as well. So I don't know. I think
Um,
it'll be a tough game.
Austin says they said the same thing last season, and look what happened about Arsenal. Ganso says, I don't want City doing a three-peat. Oh, well, that's you. You said that. I don't want City doing a three-peat. So it pains me to say this. I'd rather have Arsenal win the league. Oh, okay. You'd rather want Arsenal to win the league. And it's a nice segue there because Akshay says, what are your thoughts on Arsenal's squad depth? I believe we have a better depth than Arsenal. If you ask me, do we have a better quality squad depth than Arsenal? Considering we've got the likes of Casemiro on bench, Luke Shaw, Garnacho. Hmm. Do we have a better bench than Arsenal?
I think on paper, like if you're just looking at names, I think we definitely have a better bench. But the thing, but like
This
if
is
we're
a
being
very interesting
realistic,
question.
we don't because Arsenal have been like their style, their system, and all that. They've been building for 3 years, so they all know the bench players. They know what they need to do, and they know the job we need to do. we have the better like players on paper, but like when we're actually playing the game, I think they have the better bench because they all know the system.
That's a big question. Do we have a better bench? I mean, they've got Lokonga on their bench, right? Marquinhos in their bench, Nelson, Tierney, Vieira, um, Nketa, Holding. They've got a solid bench, you know. It might not be the best, but um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I still think our bench is slightly better. Abdiweli says, as a Man U fan, I can see Arteta building for future with young core, but Spurs, there's no project and they have two stars only who is aging. Conte knows winning trophies with unattractive football. Um, Big up Austin for staying as well. Matt says, call me crazy, but I think our front three should be Rashford, Martial, and Anthony. Absolutely not crazy, Matt. Absolutely not crazy. That is actually the similar, exactly same front three that I would play, 100%. And Seiko says, now we can't afford our brain cells to be damaged by Arsenal fans if they win the league. Honest to God, we can't. And the fact that we're even conversating about Arsenal being in the league title conversation is crazy alone. Let alone letting them win the league. It's just them being in this conversation is baffling. Before us as well. Arsenal are in conversation to win in the league before us. I mean, I don't know what people think.
But let
Big
me
up.
ask: would you
Go
rather
on.
have Arsenal win the league or City win the league? Because like,
Ooh,
if Arsenal win the league, their fans will be they're already unbearable. They will be so toxic and annoying. It's unbelievable.
ooh.
But I think I'd rather have them win the league because I don't want City to do a three-peat, and that's why I think I'll affirm that Arsenal winning the league. If I'm honest.
Okay, welcome, Griggs, as well. I'm going to bring you up in a second. Let me go ahead and read this comment. Muhammad Ali says, goalkeeper, right center back, center mid, elite ball facilitator, striker positions need an upgrade for future. Right back, left center back, attacking midfielder, right wing, striker requires squad depth, strength, which I pray academy players can cement. Um, we have Garnacho as a winger, right winger, left winger, whichever way you want to call it. Number 11 is not here. Obviously, he's got his big issue going on, so he can't be a forward. And I'm not going to tease you or say to you guys, oh, imagine if number 11 was here. No, leave that aside. Um, who else? Attacking midfielder. Amad Diallo is away. He's not here. Pelestri, he's not going to be that guy. Centre back,
No one.
man, Man United fans annihilated me on Twitter when I said that it is crucial and detrimental for us to have another centre back in January. And they said, we bought so many centre backs. This guy is deluded. This guy doesn't understand football. He's using big words for the sake of it. They rinsed me on Twitter. But when after the people watched that game between Omoni and United, and you saw Martinez and Lindelof partnership, I said to myself, listen, nobody is safe from an injury. Nobody. The most best player who stays available can, God forgive, get injured. And if Lisandro Martinez gets injured, I might as well sell my season ticket. I might as well just sell my Man United tops. Call this channel a toxic planet fast, because boy oh boy are we in trouble if Lisandro Martinez gets injured. And don't forget, Virgil van Dijk got injured as well, and he was never the same. So I'm very, very, very skeptical. And I want a Bella coach up in my team, whether that be 20, 30 million. Go and pay that money, get him as a backup center back. So you have that depth and that fallback option. In terms of forwards, we've got plenty of forwards that we may not be able to rely on, but we've got an Elanga, we've got a Ganacho who could do something. Midfield is where all the question comes down to. It's Fred is not cutting it. Palestri, Iqbal, they're not going to be seeing minutes. Casemiro, McTominay, Bruno, and Ericsson is all that comes down to, and it's all just a mess right now. It's all a mess. But we sit here on the stream and say, play Casemiro and play Casemiro and McTominay on a double pivot. Well, Ten Hag don't see it like that. What else I can do, right? What is it I can do? City don't have fans, and that's 100% facts because I was doing a space before where there was like 60 people. We couldn't find a City fan, which is crazy. Let me see. The Sidemen charity game had more fans than Man City games, so that should say a lot for Gans, you say, nah, bro, I can't have City doing a 3P. Oh, I think I read that one. Can we not go for Timber? I mean, Griggs, did we dodge a bullet with Timber?
My bad. I watched
Just for the people as well to know, Griggs's comments are not valid, and I don't second them. This guy will set you up for failure. He told me to go and watch Ramos and Enzo from Benfica, and he tried to do what Benfica did to Liverpool with Darwin Núñez, and I didn't buy it. So I'm glad I didn't. I trusted my eye test.
First of all, they played PSG, which is one of the best teams in the world, and Enzo Fernandes went up against Marco Verratti, who is the best midfielder in the world, or at least top 3, which arguably. So, and Gonçalo Ramos had a bad game, but anyway, Fad just hates me because I always predict stuff right, so he's just a hater. But anyway, as for Yuri and Timber, I watched the Napoli Ajax game. He was spooky. Actually, Spooky's being kind to him. He was absolutely atrocious. He got abused all over the pitch, and maybe we did get the better center back with Alessandro Martinez. That's clear. Plus, left footer is a much more balanced. But I think, considering Ajax probably hate us, they'll probably demand a high price. I think we could definitely find better value than Jerry and Timber. Like a Bella Kocha, for example, would be a much better signing.
Firstly, can you hear me?
Marcel, big up Marcel for joining as well. Hope you're doing well, brother. Oh, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Welcome to the stream. A surprise unveiling for people. Marcel has joined the stream. I didn't want to let people know that Marcel's coming or whatever. Just poof, for the people who are here, who are loyal to the stream, they get to see the famous, infamous Marcel. Marcel, hope you're doing well. I'm going to come to you. Let me just read some of the chats quickly. Seiko says, can we appreciate every game that we have a great forward passer Martinez in our team? You know how mad Martinez was passing in the last game. Martinez does 3 people's job. Let's be freaking honest. The guy can play a center-back, CDM. He can play a left-back. The guy is a machine, and I love him. Andy, our resident Omonia fan, who's joined the stream as well, says, hi guys. Hope you're well. Greetings from Cyprus. And Kareem Ansari Fard. Just kidding.
Guys that scored on us.
Just kidding. Hope you guys beat Everton. Big up Andy for joining. HD Gamer says we need 2 backup center backs to Varane and Martinez. I think 1 backup would be great. Red Baron says big up Marcel. And yeah, brother Marcel is here. Marcel, talk to us.
So firstly, the comments on City not having fans, guys, we need to start taking City serious. They have fans. They have plenty of fans.
Yeah. They have fans, new school fans, I call them.
New school fans for sure. New school fans. It was rocking in that stadium, bro. It was rocking in that stadium. It's going to be the same kind.
They started doing that thing where they hold each other and go, oh.
Whatever that nonsense that was. But, they just have loads of fans that are just, the stadium's packed, bro. It is hostile. And especially against us, they're going to make it hostile.
It's the Manchester derby. Come on, let's be real.
So it's not that I don't like it. I just want people to be aware they're a real threat. After that performance, I think they're looking like they want to be a serious threat. What are we talking about? Are we talking about Everton?
We touched on a bit of Sancho. We're touching on some of Ten Hag's headaches, basically.
Pardon?
Some of Ten Hag's headaches, yeah.
He doesn't have any right now. Sancho doesn't get into the squad at the moment. It's going to easily be Rashford, Martial, Anthony. So Sancho has to prove himself. He has to make himself a challenge at the moment, but or fight for that position. Maybe even on the right. I mean, his synergy, his understanding with the low is at its peak right now. He doesn't really have that with Malacia, which can manifest itself. But Luke Shaw and Rashford looks like a better fit. Rashford on the left anyway right now, in terms of goal scoring, looks like the better fit. So Sancho, in terms of forward line, there's no real headache there. Ronaldo's a Europa League player. That's just what it is right now. So no headache there. In the midfield, Bruno picks himself in the 10 areas at the moment. We can't see Ericsson going in there. It's just not going to happen. And Donny van de Beek is missing in action. You've got obviously Casemiro, who now finally looks like he'll start to get his opportunity to play there. I still feel like Scott deserves the chance against Everton, and I would start Scott again. But who else do you really? Zidane Iqbal needs to get bedded in at some stage. If we're talking about Maverick sixes, and that's who Ten Hag wanted to spend his whole budget on, a Maverick six. Zidane is of that ilk, and he's the one that's going to be able to finally get us, starting Ten Hag ball. The back four picks itself as well. I mean, Lindelof is still, he hasn't played any games really for us this season. Delo is maybe the one that's understood Ten Hag ball the most out of that back four. He just looks like he's fitted into the system and understood it the best. Is he the caliber of player? I would say no. I still want Hakimi. I've been screaming Hakimi for the longest. I think he's the one that should come in and do the job
We
for us.
have this thing on this channel called Timeout Network Issues, and you're having network issues.
How? Hakimi? You don't think Hakimi's good enough?
You're having mad network issues, brother.
Hakimi's of the caliber. I think Hakimi's the one that will.
Nuno Mendes.
That's the opposite side.
And then
and Nuno Mendes can play both sides.
I wouldn't play a left back at right back. That's just.
He can play both sides, brother, and he can play both sides really well. Let's be honest.
Varane, I think, has a ceiling, and if we're going to become the best of the best, I don't know. The jury's still out on him. Martinez has been our best signing. The balls through the thirds at centre back position is world class, but as time goes on, do we maybe want to see him in the DM potentially, or do we want to see him on the left back position? You never know. But I think right now he's been our best signing, and Malacia is going to provide competition for Luke Shaw, and is better than Luke Shaw, but not at the moment. He still has to understand those big pressure moments, as we saw against City. He's young. He's learning the league, and against it's so good that he's played against Salah already. He's played against Saka already. He's now seen the Premier League level, so he'll become good. But then De Gea is the whole reason why we can't even play football the way we want to play it. So we're in a massive situation where Ten Hag has to manage his squad week by week and deal with what he's got, because we can't play on the halfway line. We can't play out from the back. The back line doesn't trust the goalkeeper. There's so many issues with this goalkeeper. We have to hope that we get rid of him, hopefully in January. And something tells me the Glazonomics might mean that we don't even get rid of him altogether. You might see him stay maybe for next season, potentially.
Let's get this super chat up quickly, because this is a great segue into the next bit of thing that I wanted to kind of discuss is, Ten Hag's headaches, because you're saying he doesn't have headaches, but I think he does. And Amino says, Faz, what's your views on Ericsson playing 2 a week? If you ask me putting my size 11 feet into Ten Hag's size 55 shoes, because he's got big shoes to fill. Get it? No, you lot don't get it. No. Man, yeah, boring, man. You didn't even get the joke. Anyways.
That was a rubbish joke.
Listen, that's a big headache for Ten Hag. It's a big headache because the season is long, and we know, Marcel, me and you, that the manager is stubborn and he'll run players to the ground almost. He'll squeeze everything out of these players. But that's a headache if you ask me, because Bruno and Ericsson, as much as it can work at times where we get in the goal and winning games, sometimes it doesn't work. Yesterday, you saw it didn't work, and it looked better when Bruno came off. Not yesterday, sorry, in the Man City game. It didn't work. Yesterday, you saw Bruno come off. It looked a bit better. The team just looked a bit better without Bruno.
I wouldn't constitute. I wouldn't use the City game as anything. They are the best team in the world, or top 3, top 2 in the world, and they are well-oiled machine. And Ten Hag done maybe the bravest thing you could possibly do, which is still kind of play this blend of what I would call Ole ball / Ten Hag ball, and he just said, let's see what happens when I trust you guys to play the football that we've been trying to play for the last 4 games. We're on a good run of form. Let's see what happens. 6-3, we got brushed aside, and that's what's been happening to every team. So there's so much to learn mentally. I think his biggest headache is trusting these players mentally. It's always the players coming off the bench that are scoring for us. It's always the players coming off the bench. It's not the 11. What's the point of using the 11? The game really starts for us in the second half when he makes a few changes or he's forced to make a change. So that's maybe his biggest headache. He can't even trust the starting 11 sometimes. He has to go and bring people to save him. That's maybe his biggest headache. Not the. I think the 11 still picks itself, and that's why we need to go into the market in January, and that's why we need to go into the market next summer because we need players to be better than what we've got here now. These are not good enough. But 2 a week for Eriksen, no, I don't think. What do you mean 2 games a week, or do you mean 2 Yeah, 2 games a week. It's a good point. Isn't he playing 2 games a week now? Anyway, he's playing every
A lot of players are.
games a week.
He's overrun. I think he's playing too much.
He looked tired. He looked tired yesterday.
Yep, I agree with both of you. 100%. I think he's playing
He
too
looks
much.
tired. Dallo looks tired. Malacia looks tired. Martinez, not so much. I don't see it. But Malacia, boy, oh boy, is he tired.
But who else does he bring in is the question I'm coming to. You know, yes, they look tired, but who else does he bring in? Can you guys give me someone that will be able to give us that
Play Cass, Fred, and Eric and a Bruno, and bring up Eriksen at halftime and change Bruno with Eriksen. Give them 45 each. Mix it up.
The only issue is that he does not trust anyone in the first phase as a midfielder other than Eriksen. That's the biggest issue that we have. We have no. That's why Iqbal is like. That's why, like Marcel said, I agree with that. Iqbal needs to get embedded into this lineup because I think he would trust an Iqbal in the first phase. He doesn't trust Casemiro, and I think rightfully so. He doesn't trust Fed, rightfully so. I think he trusts McTominay more than the other two, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Which we never would have thought, but apparently that's what Ten Hag thinks. And he doesn't trust Bruno in the first phase, and neither do I, because he tried to do that DLP yesterday, and he stunk out Cyprus.
Question to you guys.
in Greece.
Sorry to cut you, Briggs. Do you think that Casemiro is a Ten Hag signing? Do you think that's always his choice?
Well, it's been confirmed that he okayed the deal, so.
But I think that was out of like desperation. I think he wanted Frankie de Jong, and Casemiro was like on a club target list, and they're like, we can't get Frankie de Jong. We need someone.
It can suit our narrative to say that.
But
do you know?
I mean, I think he did okay it, so I don't think he's like, oh no, boo hoo, I got Casemiro. I don't think he's unhappy that he got him, but I don't think Casemiro was his priority or his like first choice or anything. I think it's something that the club kind of put more on him because it seems to something United would do. A 30-year-old Real Madrid player, why not?
He was fine with it, but I think he was also expecting to get another midfielder next to Casemiro. That's why he kept saying that he wanted the other center mid, but Frankie obviously never came because Frankie de Jong stinks. But it's just we need to get a center mid in January and another forward, but we'll see if the Glazers open up that checkbook.
Do you think they will though? I mean,
no,
probably not. Who knows? We never know because it all depends on where we are on the table. Because Glazers need top 4 this summer. We need to get Champions League. Like they're gonna demand it. And if we need signings, like they did it with Bruno and Ole, they gave Ole Bruno in January because they knew that we were in danger of falling out of top 4. And if it comes to that, like in January, especially for Ronaldo leaves, I think we get the forward. I don't think we get a midfield signing. I think we only sign one player. It's probably gonna be Gakpo from the looks of it.
I don't want Gakpo, man. This is
he's gonna score like 3 goals at the World Cup, and that will be the deal sealer. Once he scores a couple goals at the World Cup, the Glazers are gonna see the commercial, everything. The stars are gonna be shining in their eyes, and they're gonna go sign Gakpo.
You know what? Ten Hag's real issue is getting the best out of Sancho. Where do you play him to get the best out of Sancho?
On the bench. That guy does not deserve to see the pitch for the next month. I don't care. I don't want to see that guy touch the pitch. He pissed me off yesterday with that stupid.
But Michael, we've invested so much in him. We have to see him turn into to become that world star. We have to. It's a massive.
Ten Hag's lucky. He's not a Ten Hag signing, and Ten Hag could get away with it because he could just say, "I never signed this guy, so we might have to get rid of him." Anthony's the one that he will focus all his attention on to make sure that Anthony succeeds at Man United. That's the one he has to focus on because that's his $100 million euro signing, whatever the value was. Sancho, I think, I honestly believe by 2024, Jadon Sancho will not be a Man United player. I think he gets judged. And if they give him a number 7, he'll falter with that pressure. No one deserves that number 7 after Ronaldo. They need to work, in my opinion, to work up that jersey.
No one deserves that number 7 after Ronaldo.
Not yet. Well,
put it on ice. No one has done anything.
Ronaldo doesn't deserve it either, but he's CR7. It's the nickname.
It's very weird how you try and say all these things, but your mic doesn't agree with you. Every stream, you try and tell me these names from Benfica, these names from Napoli and Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. God is working in miraculous ways because you've tried to deliver us Enzo and Cancelo Ramos and it wasn't working, man. Marcel, can you imagine? This guy told me about Enzo and Cancelo Ramos, and they both are dead.
By the way, every single top club in Europe wants Enzo Fernandez, so they all agree with me.
Man,
Real
a
Madrid,
lot of
Man
clubs wanted a
City,
lot of players
Man United.
in a time when
This
they
is
were
the,
hot.
this is the young midfielder. This is the young midfielder.
Yeah,
for
Argentina.
Benfica.
Yeah.
Every
He's
single
only
top club
15
wants
mil
him.
too. We should have got him at no
Every
risk.
single
15 mil.
every single top club wants him, so every single top club agrees with me. So that's all I gotta
Listen,
say.
every single top club wants a lot of donkey players. Don't mean they're freaking all of that.
Man
My
City
eye
don't.
test saw yesterday.
Man City don't watch the donkey
Vitinha,
players.
Vitinha made him look like a
No, he
real
didn't.
small boy.
He really didn't.
It
We
can-
watched
Vitinha
it.
really made him look like a small boy.
My question to you then, Michael, would be: can he be the Maverick 6 that we need? Because that's the
Yes.
only maybe piece of the puzzle that we're
Enzo
missing.
Fernandes.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
bro, he
mentioned
could play the
you mentioned
six.
the
He
build-up.
could play box to box. He could play build up play. You saw that cross he delivered for the own
Finished.
goal. He's a box to box man. Bro, this kid is special. There's a reason, like I said, there's a reason why Real Madrid don't go after donkey players, especially in the midfield. Have you seen their midfield targets? Jude
Well,
Bellingham,
Real
Camavinga,
Madrid.
Tchouaméni.
Real Madrid also look. Real Madrid do have. Yeah,
Camavinga,
this is right. This is actually.
Valverde,
This is
That's what I'm saying.
this is. Listen,
Clemeni.
I agree with this comment. Faz
Yeah,
watched
Faz watched
them
them
once
once
and
and
called
called them
them
bad.
bad. Well, let me explain something to you. Marcel will tell you this. When scouts go to scout players from non-league football and bring them to National League, bring them to League 2, League 1, Premier League, they need to watch them once. They don't go and watch them 5 times. Marcel, please tell me if I'm wrong. They do
I
not.
think you're wrong. The FA
Whoa,
scout.
that's such cap. By the way.
No,
Have
they
you-
don't.
That's
No,
such
they
cap.
don't. If you impress me on the first game that I go, I will come and try and see you again. But if you don't impress me on the first game I go, I'm going to be very hesitant to waste my time to go and see you again and again. No, they don't. Scouts
enough.
have. Do you know how
Well-
many players scout? Come on, you do know how many players scouts
Have to
scout
yeah.
a freaking week. They
Yeah,
it's
but-
all about leaving a
but a
first
scout report
impression.
needs
You
to-
have to leave an impression.
He also chose a game that he was playing against Marco Verratti. That is one of the hardest games you could choose to scout someone for.
Sure,
The fact that he
okay,
delivered a decent
okay.
performance against the PSG. Go watch him in the Argentinian league when he played in Copa Libertadores in one of the hostile
It's
environments.
true, man. Scouts.
He showed up.
If
I wouldn't.
if
I
you-
wouldn't go as far as what Michael's saying. I would say, what was the positives and negatives? What does your scout report detail? Because
For
that's
Enzo Fernandez.
blasé. That's too blasé to just say. it
okay,
was
what
bad.
I saw from
What-
listen,
what-
it's not even an Enzo Fernandez.
That is positive in his game.
This
That-
is not even an Enzo Fernandez debate. But one of the things I like about Enzo Fernandez is he knows the time when the ball needs to leave his feet, whether that be a cross, whether that be a pass. His timing is very good. He knows when to be accurate with his timing. What he doesn't do well is he has this hoo-ha tackling on him, this unnecessary aggression where he gives away fouls and everything without understanding, the player he's fouling, how to mark them, whatever. So playing a 6 role where he's giving away donkey free kicks here, there, and everywhere, it don't make sense.
Playing a
And that
pivotal.
free kick that he even put in, okay, sure, that's an own goal. It went in, it just brushed off Danilo's chest. You give it to him because he put the ball in, sure. But other than that, I didn't see him take the game by the scruff and take it to PSG. Whether that be Verratti's fault, whether that be Vitinha's fault, he was able to at times maybe drop a shoulder, drop a player, and carry the ball forward. And he didn't. He didn't. You know it. I know it. Whether that is PSG locking up shop, but there's other games that you need to be finding answers. And if you're not finding answers in those games, I'm sorry. Same with Cancelo Ramos. A lot of the times he was there, and look, guess what? He looked really good at pressing, really good, solid, always there, but not that clinical, not that final edge, not that And whether that be you say Ramos and Marquinhos,
I have one counter argument for this.
Sure, go on.
We play a possession-based system, and that's what we aspire to play with. You watch the game of them that they had to play counter-attacking football against PSG. You need to watch how they play in a possession-based system when Benfica have a dominant possession of the ball. That's what you need to watch them for. and see can they fit Ten Hag system. Because Enzo Fernandez, when I watched him play for River Plate, that's when they dominated possession, him and Julian Alvarez. And that's when he showed when he had also in the Portuguese league, he's had a game where he's had 150 touches. You know how incredible that is for a midfielder to have
That is
many
very
touches.
incredible. Yes.
And Gonçalo Ramos, okay, I say Gonçalo Ramos, like I just like him, but yeah, he was play bad against PSG, and he's not my number one striker target. I just like him, but there's others.
All I would
Enzo
say, and
Fernandez.
I agree with Michael. You just got to watch more of the. You can't just write him off after one. He might have that might have just been a stinger.
Yeah,
Against
you're
Juventus.
no, and no,
Against
I'm not going
Juventus.
to deny that. I'm not going to
Against
deny
Juventus,
that.
he lost
You're
him
right. You both are right. You both are right. I'm not going to deny that. I do look at games, and if I look, Sheshko against Rangers, was it Sheshko or Hakpo? No, against Rangers. Hakpo against Rangers.
What do you think?
Man.
He was bad. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Nah, man. Big game. Turn up, man. If you can't turn up, big game. And I have a Hakpo PSV supporter as our member, Spilling Media, who's not here unfortunately today, but he normally comes up. He's a PSV supporter. He blamed Manchester United for Hakpo performing bad against Rangers. He said because Manchester United came out and made it aware that they might be linked with Hakpo, it put Hakpo under pressure and he didn't perform. I have watched Hakpo and he performs better when he doesn't have pressure. I was like, what? This is an exact type of player I do not want.
Not want.
I agree with that. I agree
Exactly.
with that. And like with the Gonçalo Ramos, I get your point for that. Like for forwards, when they play counterattacking like system, you can still expect those players to show up because like if they're the attackers. But I think for midfielders, it's a little different. That's why like I'll agree with you. Like Gonçalo Ramos, like say why you might not want him after the PSG game because like, as a forward, but I think Enzo's a little different case because he's a midfielder. And I agree with you with Gakpo because I watched the Ranger game too. He just looks like he's a moments player. Like he needs to be in full confidence for him to be good. Because right now he's in full confidence for PSV, and he's the first player in Europe to hit 10 assists and 10 goals to start the season. So he's in full confidence right now. But like
I don't want to like shit on him, but has he even played anyone good? Because Ajax is like they were scrapped and now they're like rebuilding and shit. I don't even know what group they're in the Europa League, but I don't think they're playing.
They play Arsenal.
Good.
They play Arsenal. I want to see how he plays in that game.
Oh, okay.
That's a good test.
I find it so baffling how you guys talk about Enzo Fernandes and we've got 22-year-old Vitinha.
We should have signed him too.
We should have signed him exactly. 40 million.
God.
40 million.
Are these all sixes, by the way, or are these just eights? And because really, for me, my biggest thing, Ganzo,
they're 6.5. They're 6.5.
I need an out-and-out 6, man. I really need a 6. That's 10 hog ball. 6 and a goalkeeper is just like.
Yeah, but what's Casemiro here to do?
That was Casemiro, I think.
He's a traditional.
But is Frankie a 6 though?
Is
Frankie a 6 though? That's the thing. Frankie's not a 6 either. I don't think Frankie
is a 6. He is a 6.
Because in Ten Hag say like Frankie's better when you play him a little bit further forward. He can like go forward and back.
Nah, that's the opposite. Ten Hag wants De Jong as like the base. He wants him to be the first person.
Okay.
I'll be very honest. Verratti is the best 6 right now in the world.
Is the best 10 Hag in the world. He's the best 10 Hag 6 in the world.
If you ask me,
other than Frankie. Potentially.
In
my opinion,
Verratti's better than Frankie. Verratti's better than Frankie. He does what Frankie does at a higher level.
It's just relentless, man. Was I gonna say Frankie's better than Verratti? Maybe edges it because of his age, but I feel like what I see from Verratti is he's got the same chromosome as Modric. This guy is getting better with age. 29
but he's
and
not durable with age. That's like PSG have a contingency plan just for new players to come in just when Verratti's not up to scratch. Do you know who I think could play the 6? Renato Sanchez. I think he could do it just because he's got
that's even more injury prone. Even more injury prone than Verratti. That guy's he's already injured right now. He just got injured on Saturday.
Wow.
Listen, it's been a good chat. Let me read some of the comments and wrap up the show. Red Baron says, incentive for Glazers is messed up. We have to lose to improve the squad. It should be that when we win, we should strive to be going for title. 100% right. The team structure when pressing leaves us vulnerable, says West Express Football. HD Gamer says, "Fast watch them once and call them bad." Yeah, man. I need a first impression. I like games. I'm a football fan. I'm not a scout, obviously, but when I saw Mendes in Portugal against Spain, I had love her in my eyes. Like I like players like that. Give me first impression. And if I see you give me first impression, that means you're gonna turn up for me on random days, and I need that. You just turn up for me like all the time. It shouldn't be, oh, this is a big game. Turn up here. This is small. Just turn up. If I watch you, you should be performing. Simple as. The consistency is the best attribute in any player. If I'm watching you on a random day when it's not a big game, when it's nothing, and I see you performing well, that's the type of player I want. I don't want you playing just on big game merchant, just on little game merchant, just on no pressure merchant. I want you playing all the time. Even if you're giving me a 6.5 out of 10 weekly, that's better than giving me a 9 one day and a 3 one day. Wes Express says we can get a win, but it's going to be difficult against Everton, I'm guessing. And I personally think it'll be a draw. Wes then says, if Dallo gets injured, we are screwed. Trust me. Same with Ericsson. Yeah, I can see that. We have to learn to play without Ericsson whenever he isn't playing well. I do agree. Draw as well. Footy Gangster says, and hey, Manu Camp, what's up, Sui? What else? Hakpo will be a United player, but
people think it's going to be a draw against Everton.
Yeah, I think so too, man. But it could be
We're
possible.
winning this game,
Bro, we
fam.
can lose. We can lose. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost either, man.
We're winning it, Michael, man.
This guy, network issues. This guy says something and it happens. I swear to God, he says something and he just said we might lose, man. I can't take this.
No, hold up. Is Lindelof playing? That's
He will be. He will be.
Yeah, Lindo's.
Then we draw.
Hakpo will be a United player by the start of 23-24 season. Network issues. Footy Gangster says Nkunku would be better, but that dude is
Chelsea. He's
going
to
PSG. I think he's going to Chelsea.
Medical
is on fire. Your defense is terrified. Marcel, yeah, you got the agenda against De Gea. Yeah, man. Marcel's agenda against De Gea. At this point, yes.
I'm leading that brigade too.
I've joined up as well.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate you.
At the end of the day,
look at this guy.
You all. At the end of the day, Footy Gangster says, Marcel, I think he should leave next summer if you don't want to be backup keeper. If we buy a new goalkeeper, I don't even want him to be backup. I think he's just time. I look forward to his send off more than anything. I am looking forward to his send off. I love De Gea, but this is his last season. Yeah, his contract's running out after this season, and just call it a day. Muhammad Ali says, are you a crucial game changer, or you can carry the team forward? That's what we're lacking from goalkeeper and striker. So yeah, draw is a safe bet. But anyways, yeah, that's all the comments. Big up everyone for joining in as well. Big up Marcel. Big up Griggs. Big up Ganso, one of my members as well. Big up Griggs, one of the members. Big up everyone. If you want to become a member, memberships are now open. You can now join using the link in the bio or using the super chat button and become a member. There are 2 levels of membership. You can pick which one you want to join. But yeah, thank you all for everyone. Match preview tomorrow and a match on Sunday. We'll see, man. Win, lose, draw. We will see what happens. But anyways, big up all. Thank you very much, Marcel. Thank you, Griggs. Thank you, Ganso.